Heart of a Woman.
Okay, guys, we're back. Heart of a Woman. Nicole
Lee. Yes.
Nicole James.
You got it.
I got it, Nicole
My
James.
mom would be proud.
Mommy, and I apologize again. It's not Nicole, it's Nicole. And I'll probably have to say that about 4 times
Before
again.
you get it,
Before
yes.
I really get it, but I will get it. Nicole James is a beautiful name.
Thank you.
Does it have meaning?
There is, but I cannot remember.
You need to remember, Mommy didn't just pull that out of her hat.
It's
right?
actually French.
Yeah.
But there is a meaning.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been so long somebody asked me the meaning of my name that
Yeah, it's very unusual. I love it.
Yeah, it is
Nicole.
very unusual.
So, Nicole, I know you're a believer.
Yes.
At what time, age, when did you get saved? When did you decide, you know what, I'm surrendering my life to Christ?
Well, that's an interesting question because I grew up in a Catholic home.
Okay.
Very strict religious home. My grandmother was, as we say, staunch Catholic. So I've always been in church. I grew up in church, you know, baptized then, you know, but I am Pentecostal. Now, I was baptized in Maranatha a year and a half ago.
Okay.
However, I've been visiting, well, not visiting, but I've been there for over 7 years.
Okay.
And, you know,
At Maranatha.
at Maranatha. So I've always been in church, but, you know, I tell people I was a faithful churchgoer, but I wasn't living in the Word. But now I am living in the Word.
The Word has come alive.
Yes, it is. It is life, you know, because, you know, I tell people if I knew that reading the Bible is almost like reading your own novel. You can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah.
Because you see it unfolding in so many different ways in your own personal life. But, you know, the thing is, I was never a Lima party person. Like I said, I grew up with values, and you know, my parents and my grandparents were pretty strict. But you know, it's you realize that you weren't truly living.
Yes.
I was just going to church.
Yes.
And you felt like that is all you had to do.
Just show up.
Just show up. But now I really try to commit myself, you know, wholeheartedly, surrendered myself. When you say surrender, it's not surrendering a piece. It's giving you wholeheartedly, unashamed of how you appear to him, how you look to him. Because guess what? You just want to be in his presence.
Yes.
So I you know, a year and a half ago, I was baptized in Maranatha. You know, that's where I was called, and I felt I was called there for a reason. And you know, my children were christened there. That's the only church they know, and it's the only church I intend for them to know. You know, because that's second home to them. They, you know, so we do different things in church. We participate. I try to make sure that they're growing in prayer, and they understand that, you know, there's a different type of prayer for every situation. So, you know, we attend prayer meeting, we go to Bible study, because I think it's important to know the Word, and not just know it, but understand it.
To have heart knowledge of the Word.
You know, so, and then, you know, my children are very involved as well, because they're in choir. My daughter just told me, Mommy, I want to dance. And one day I was watching her dance at home, and it brought me to tears, and I said, wow, she's really gonna touch people's lives with this, you know. And then, you know, they started playing pan in church, you know, and that's another form of ministry. And I said, you know what, if you guys are doing it in church, I'm gonna join you.
Very good.
So I started playing pan in church too.
Great,
You know, so just trying to involve myself more, keep up with, you know, talk to different people. And because, you know, living in the Word, you know, you encounter so many different obstacles. It takes discipline, but it also takes people to encourage you along the way. So I try to reach out to people that could pull me along when I
surround yourself with people who can mentor you.
Exactly.
Yeah, people who can encourage you in the Word and help you to grow. And those things are vital. You know, that you need that. So what people don't know, I don't know if much people know, but we want to talk about it tonight, that you're a cancer survivor.
Yes, I am a cancer survivor.
You're a cancer survivor.
Yes.
And when I met you, and you said that, I mean, if I was standing, I would be like, no, because you have such a positive aura. You just, you said you love to smile and you love to laugh, and that's you look so at peace and and so happy, you know. Just, and I think this is gonna take the rest of the program, and that's fine. Tell us, give us, you know, your journey. Take us on that journey. Because you're an athlete.
Yes.
You're healthy. You're fit. You're fit. How could, you know, someone that is taking care of their body, working out, because that is what people think, that, you know, if I eat right, if I sleep, if I do all those things and take care of myself, then, you know, I won't get sick, much less to get cancer.
Yeah, exactly.
And you were at what age?
I was diagnosed at 31.
At 31. What was that like? I mean, what happened? Did you see something? You went to the doctor? Tell us about it.
Well, you know, different things happened, but, you know, over a period of time, you kind of take things for granted. You know, we have this thing when we feel a little pain in our stomach, oh, it's gas, let me drink some tea.
Yeah.
And I didn't recognize what was happening to me then, but I would get these paralyzing pains. It literally would paralyze me. I can't move. And, you know, it happened, and then over time, it just continuously got worse, to the point where, no, you know, I was having all these bleedings, and, you know, from the rectum, and, you know, the pain was just unimaginable. I actually, you know, started thinking of no, death would be better than having to go through this. And I went through that for a year and a half. Because at the time, you know, what we know of cancer is that it's a quote-unquote old people thing. Only older people get it. And, you know, people were looking at me because, you know, I was still playing, you know, still working out, still watching what I eat. I was never a drinker, never a limer. So, you know, I don't smoke. So they're not thinking that this is what it could be, even though I had all these symptoms.
So you went to the doctor, you visited your doctor?
I visited many doctors, visited doctors in Trinidad, visited doctors in Tobago. It was just, you know, continuous. It took so much from me, you know, because, you know, you're coming up on a year and a half just wanting somebody to tell you what's wrong.
Right.
Because you know something is wrong.
Definitely, yeah.
But then I started doing a lot of research. And, you know, I started, as we say, minding my business. I started doing a lot of research. And then I started realizing that there's a possibility it could have been this. And I said, you know, I need somebody to tell me this quick. And, you know, spending weeks at a time in the hospital away from my children, you know, I spent
on the ward.
You know, I remember going to see a doctor in Trinidad, and he warded me immediately at West Shore. Spent a week there without even being able to prep my children, you know. And, you know, my children and I, as well as my, you know, people around who weren't sure what was happening, but they just knew something wasn't right either, you know. And it definitely was a scary, the initial stage of it was definitely scary. And then I remember, you know, Dr. Remy called my best friend, one of my best friends. Dr. Remy is her niece, her aunt, sorry. So she called her and told me, go see this doctor. He has clinic on this day. Do not see anyone else. Go straight to him. So I went and I endured the wait, and I remember sitting there, and I was almost the last person to see him. And I went in, and, you know, he's there, and I'm explaining what's happening, and he said, well, let me do the check. I said, it doesn't make sense you do the check, because, and I was able to describe everything to a T, because he thought I was a doctor. And
but this is your life.
This is my life, you know, and after a year and a half, you become very observant. And he said, well, I'm not seeing anything, but seeing that you want the colonoscopy, we can do it in November. And I looked at him and I said, November? I said, I can't get any days sooner because we're in May.
Wow.
And he said, he showed me the book, and he said, you know, it's filled, like there's no space, I can't do anything. And I just started to cry. I sat there and I just froze, because after a year and a half of running, I felt like I did not have the energy to continue. And he said, why are you crying? I said, because if I have to wait until November, I think I will die.
Right.
And he said, he was, you know, he was startled. He said, why would you say something like that? And the nurse, she just froze. And I said, because every breath I take, I feel like I'm getting closer to the last one. I literally can feel it. By the time I leave here, I'm weaker than when I came in.
Wow.
And he said, you know, okay, well, seeing that you want to do this colonoscopy, we can do it privately. And I said, you know, I don't care where I get it done, but I know something isn't right. So we did the colonoscopy privately the following week. And 2 weeks after that, he wanted to see me urgently.
Yeah.
So I went in and he told me, you know, they saw a tumor and it was 48 centimeters long in my large intestine.
Okay.
And he said, you know, they took biopsies and they did send it to Jamaica and it came back cancerous.
Wow.
And I sat there and I had no emotion. I didn't know if to cry. I didn't know what to do. I was like, because it was literally confirmation, because in my heart I almost felt like that is what it was. And he said, but we need to get you into the hospital tomorrow. And I think that's when it really hit me, like, tomorrow? And he said, yes, because we need to get you into surgery on Tuesday. And
Wow.
I said, this is no time.
Yes.
So, and I was like, you know, it's almost like you feel like you just want a trip. You know, you're like, oh, I need to go home and pack because it's that quick, you know.
Yeah.
And I left there and I didn't tell a soul what was going on.
To your mother?
No one knew. I didn't tell a soul what was going on.
You mean throughout?
No, everyone knew.
For the entire year?
Everyone knew I wasn't well.
Okay.
I have my girlfriend in Trinidad, you know, she was like, Nick, no, we need to go find out what's wrong. And she was the one that got me the appointment in Trinidad, took time off from work. She would come to Tobago, stay with me to help me out with the kids. Because, you know, before I was that type of person, I was introverted with what I was going through because everyone saw me as the strong one. So no one expected me to be the weak one. And because I understood that, I didn't want to show them I was weak. So, you know, I kept that to myself, you know. So we went home, packed, you know, and I explained what was happening to my children. We went for a walk and I was telling them, you know, Mommy needs to go to the doctor because Mommy isn't feeling well. And my kids said, Mommy, yes, you need to go. My son said, because if you don't go, you will die.
Wow.
And that is when it hit me, the reality of what is happening just hit me.
Yeah.
You know.
That this was so serious and you need to take care of that. So, Nick, we are going to take a quick break. Guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Heart of a Woman.